The CEO killer's identity has been revealed, and his name is Luigi Mangione. He's also like high-key jacked, so the internet's response to this is incredible.
These are the images that give us the first full look at the suspect. He's now in a Pennsylvania prison.
I feel like you could have just stopped at Pennsylvania. That's already a fate worse than death.
New York authorities say they have formally charged him as well with second-degree murder in the killing of health insurance CEO.
The internet, after hearing about Luigi Mangione, no, don't get caught by the police, you're too sexy, haha. All we have to do is convince Biden that Luigi is his son. Nah, that's diabolical.
Baba Bowie.
WestJett.
What is up, Hunter Bidens and Poseidons? WestJett 6'5", Venezuelan trillionaire here, and today we're talking about the CEO killer's identity revealed. Oh, and literally 0% of your subscribes, so be sure to subscribe. Yeah.
U.S. media are reporting phrases like, "it had to be done," and "the parasites had it coming." Those are included in the 3-page document.
Reminds me a bit of the Unabomber, but instead of specking intellect, he specced strength, and his manifesto was a lot shorter. It was a 2-page document, straight to the point. He did apologize for the strife and trauma he caused from it, but it had to be done. Even though I am the news, the actual news interviewed one of his former classmates, and he had some interesting things to say.
When I saw the photo, I thought it was like a 35-year-old guy. It was like, he's a good-looking dude, like sharp jawline kind of thing.
Dude, low-key wants him.
Somebody who's, exceeds academically and in and out of the classroom, and they have them speak in front of our high school.
The nature of this assassination and the kind of like the profile of this guy immediately grew him a massive fan base online. He was essentially the polar opposite of the virgin Trump attempted shooter guy. They found out he had a Goodreads account with like hundreds of books, and they claimed he was an active contributor on GitHub, but he got 0 contributions in the last year, so the news is fraud. The news is also incredibly funny, as I'll show you in a clip later, but they essentially all claimed that they were looking for the motive, and it wasn't clear what the motive was, and in my opinion, it's a pretty cut and dry. Luigi just wanted to one-up Mario.
CEO killer news. Where'd they find him? Oh, they got his ass at McDonald?
Apparently they caught him at McDonald's, which didn't help any schizo conspiracy theories, because Mangione actually means glutton, which is a 7th deadly sin. Ah, sweet, a schizo threat.
In his manifesto, he states, "These parasites had it coming." His Twitter also resurfaced where he was a bit of a shitposter.
Do any of you retards have a PhD? I have questions. Pretty huge dick.
PhD is a pimp and hose degree that I'm...
It was a McDonald's employee who called the cops after she remembered him from the pictures.
Sir, we're gonna need to see your ID. But yeah, big surprise, this guy's gonna get caught. Shooting somebody down in like cold blood in front of everybody. Really hard to get away with that. Should have used a rifle or something like that.
Hey, yo! This story has many cuts and turns. If you watched my video from yesterday, we didn't know what was in the bag. It turns out his backpack was filled with Monopoly money. If he didn't get caught so early, this straight up would have been some shit out of 7, like leaving like red herrings and trolls for the investigators. And of course, disclaimer, on the WestJett News Altercation Media Corporation Executive LLC Limited, we do not condone or justify violence in any way. And even though we all know that Brian Thompson isn't the creator mastermind and nothing will really change out of this since he's just simply a cog in the system, but I do think the killer succeeded in what he wanted, in that his message was heard loud and clear.
Overnight in New York, Luigi Mangione was charged with murder. Authorities finding 3 pages of writings which say, in part, "Frankly, these parasites had it coming."
NYPD released the tapes.
Now, more background on the suspect's past emerging. His family carving both financial and political footprints in Baltimore, where they own 2 country clubs.
I find it crazy how he's literally from Baltimore, Maryland, or Bodymore, Murderland, as I like to call it, essentially the hood of the world. And he wasn't some kind of like eat the rich vigilante over here. He was literally richer than the CEO he put down.
And his cousin Nino Mangione is a Republican state legislator.
Like, his family even has government pull. Like, you can't make it up. It definitely puts an interesting twist on the story, and I've seen reports saying that he's actually gone mad and his family was worried about him. His sister posted this on her Instagram story saying, "Praying for you," and people were speculating on that as well, but I'm not sure. People found his valedictorian speech, and while it was unrelated, it was pretty interesting.
And try new things. Just like we've done these past few years, we'll be exploring the unknown.
I mean, technically he did try new things, and now he will be exploring the unknown, so he wasn't lying there. In the beginning of this video, I mentioned the Unabomber, and he's actually read and rated his book a 4 out of 5, which, could be better. While getting apprehended, he was also apparently found with this fake ID using the alias Rosario Mark, and they found this unnamed object. I don't know what that is. I'm in Canada. But most importantly, they found Luigi Mangione's Twitter account, and his batter was quite interesting. First, we got Breloom, the Pokemon, and then we have a photo of an x-ray of a back and a spine, and then we have him looking jacked.
And a post elsewhere of an x-ray of a back. Two senior law enforcement officials tell NBC News investigators are looking into whether it belongs to Mangione and whether it has anything to do with the crime.
Earlier, we actually found out that Luigi was part of one of the richest families in Baltimore, so I'm not really sure how the health insurance angle would fit in here. Maybe his parents restricted him the money?
A friend from Hawaii told CNN Mangione struggled with back pain.
Maybe there's more to this crazy theory. A Gabe theory.
The suspect was clearly in a lot of back pain over a period of time. And two, somewhere between 6 months and a year out, guys, he just went off the grid. Friends and family outreach went completely unreturned. What the connection may or may not be between these two things, we don't know.
Cutting out your family for upwards of like 6 months and them only finding out where you've been if due to a first-degree murder charge on the news must be crazy for his family. What's the significance of the Pokemon? I get the media's talking about the back x-ray, that's easy, but we know that Breloom is a mushroom-like Pokemon, so maybe this was psychedelically inspired and he went off his rocker.
We're told the suspect was visibly shaking when officers approached him in a McDonald's earlier today.
I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure everybody would be visibly shaking if officers approached them in McDonald's.
Throughout the day, officials have also praised the McDonald's employee for recognizing the suspect, even with a mask on.
Of course a McDonald's employee would snitch. Burger King employees have way more integrity. It's still funny to think about that he was caught basically because he was flirting with either a hotel staff or a frickin' cashier. When my kids ask me about Luigi Mangione,
he was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
Okay, bro, chill. Trending in India. Free him. India already has universal healthcare and they're still on his side. Luigi Mangione's last quote he liked on Goodreads, bro had enough. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. Dr. Seuss the Lorax. We live in a world where a children's book potentially inspired a premeditated murder. Honestly interesting. And of course, to nobody's surprise, we had a good share of Italian-related memes and memes pertaining to Mario. Luigi Mangione's brother reacts to his arrest for the murder of a healthcare CEO. Bruh. This is my opinion, but I personally think that fawning over a serial killer or even a murderer is sort of like a cringy high school woman thing to do, and I don't really condone that, but it is interesting to see the thought process, the tweets, and like the social media presence of somebody who was led down this sort of path, you know?
You know, it's
an insurance healthcare CEO.